Yes.
Breaking cactus news. We haven't even talked about this yet. We just said, let's get on the camera and talk about this
See
because
what
it
happens.
is crazy. Okay.
Yes.
AJ Ferrari is back. And so is Austin Gomez, which I mean, Mike, you kind of called it a few days ago. Like
He
we
did.
did
He
that
did.
video and he's in the transfer portal. He's probably going to go to Michigan. We'll get to that. But first, let's get to Ferrari, the Ferrari saga.
Man,
He's back. Mike, I mean, you're the one that broke the news to us. So
I've been super following this. I was like texting in our chats. I was like, "Oh, court, the trials today," and then it got delayed, and I was like, "Oh man, like we'll have to wait even longer to find out what happens."
Yeah.
And then trial was today as well, and it was dismissed. So I could read the actual, what the court wrote for those that are interested. But the gist of it is that AJ is charges are all dropped. He's moved forward. There's nothing, happening now. He's back to wrestling. He has 3 years of eligibility still. I believe he's taking classes with one of his brothers so they can keep their eligibility standings.
what he's enrolled somewhere?
I don't know about enrolled. I just heard he was taking classes, maybe at a community college or something, because as you guys might know too, you have to maintain a certain academic standing. You can't just be like, hey, I took off all this time, I skipped all these classes, but I want to come wrestle again.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I was gonna say. I was like,
yeah, no, he's not enrolled anywhere yet. Obviously, the big belief is he's going to go to Iowa, and it'll be the 3 Ferraris in the garage, like they joked about months ago.
I saw his brother talking about it on that
Clash
other
of Combat.
podcast,
Yeah.
Clash of Combat. That he's like, yeah, the hope is to get AJ here too. Once he's got he's sorting some stuff out, but then the hope is he'll be joining. So all 3 Ferraris,
Yeah.
yeah, like in the garage like that. Yeah, like you just said with the tweet, like. I mean that helps out Iowa on top of the other news with that's majorly affecting Iowa with the that rule, the NCAA. What
Yeah. They
um
they might be kind of rolling back the punishment for the gambling. So it's
right.
possible that the 6 wrestlers that are, going to miss the season. I mean, we know Nelson Brands, as he said, he came forward and said, in his tweets that he was one of them guaranteed, as were a few other guys that we speculated on. It could be that they have no punishment and they get their eligibility back, and you could have all those guys back again.
I mean, Iowa looks a lot stronger with Cassiope, Brands, and AJ Ferrari in the lineup.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that,
pretty crazy. I mean, what an emotional roller coaster for Iowa and Iowa fans. I mean, you had this incredible low, 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 and now it seems like just as the season's coming, you guys are hitting your stride.
yeah, everything's falling into place for Iowa very nicely. Like now they're actually a contender for a team placement. I feel like.
And add in the news that we heard that we kind of talked about today with Penn State with Nagao.
Oh yeah, with Nagau's
Oh
potential
yeah.
Yeah,
long-term injury, that makes
yeah.
Penn State definitely more vulnerable.
Well, to clarify for the commenters, this is a Pat Minio
Yes.
speculation.
Yes,
So,
he is speculating and spitting that out there.
but other people are also saying, that are like close to the Penn State room, they're keeping it close to the vest, but they're saying that the injury did happen and it's serious enough that he might be missing all the way up to the conference tournament.
I mean, at that point, he should try to just get a medical red shirt
Get
or
a medical
something,
red shirt.
because like
Yep.
you're not going to have trained the entire year, and then you're just going to jump into the. I
Yeah.
mean,
Is it too late for Chris Cannon to end up going to
Yeah.
Penn State?
oh yeah, right. I think
See,
Chris Cannon's very happy with where he is at
Michigan.
Michigan with everything that's
Yeah.
going on there.
As should all the Michigan fans, because Austin Gomez will probably be in your lineup now.
149. Well, that's the question. Do you think he goes 49 or 41? I
You think he
mean,
would go down to 41?
well, he's been wrestling 65 kilos. I mean, that's 143.
I
No,
don't
it's even
think
less.
so.
It's even less actually.
I think that's a stretch for him to go down to 41.
Especially since they have Dylan Ragusin at 141. It made
Well,
Yeah.
or Cannon and Ragusin are going to be like the 33-41. I was on the Michigan's website, the roster, and it has Ragusin listed as a 133 and Cannon listed as a 133/141.
Oh, interesting.
So, I mean, maybe they're going to wrestle off for 33 and the loser's going to go 41.
Yeah, but we mentioned it in our Gomez video that he's beaten the top
Yeah.
two guys at 149 already.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
beating a lot of the guys at 49.
Yeah, he could be easily be the number one guy.
Yeah, for sure.
And that also boosts Michigan into a team trophy race. Like they're now like making almost like a nice stride ahead of most of the rest of the field. And maybe even with Nagao being out, maybe they're going to give Penn State a run.
I mean, Big Ten's just got really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Not that it wasn't. I believe that Big Ten's is probably the most competitive conference, and I don't think that's a hot take to say.
Yeah.
But now you had Michigan that was like, oh, people were talking about them falling off and how they're going to look. Then they had those, but then they had those big transfers. I mean, half their lineup is all American transfer.
Yeah, and they have Will Luan and Cam Amin returning.
Yeah, so I mean, you could. This is a lineup that potentially has 7 All-Americans already in it.
Yeah, 7 All-Americans, and they're all returners.
And not to mention like Rylan Rogers, who's a highly touted freshman who'll be in the lineup at 184. So
for sure.
Yeah, I mean the only weak spots they really got are what, Yatuma at 97, and then what's it called?
Ragusin, maybe?
Yeah, maybe whoever's at 41. Is it more of a weak spot? But yeah, like they're looking pretty strong top to bottom.
Yeah, I mean,
makes
so
it very difficult.
Let's kind of break down the 3 teams that this is all impacting, because you got Michigan, Iowa, and Penn State. I mean, those have got to be your top 3 for the NCAA tournament, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so in the dual meet, you have, let's do Michigan versus Penn State first.
You got what, DiAgostino on
I'd say on Robbie Howard. Yeah.
And DiAgostino's beat him before, I believe.
Yeah, I would say DiAgostino would win that. He'd beat Howard.
With Nagao out, Chris Cannon would probably, or Ragusin would probably beat whoever had Penn State had.
Yeah, McHenry, or who was the other one that you said could be?
I think it could be Braden Davis or Kurt McHenry.
Oh yeah,
the McHenry angle could be interesting because he was a Michigan guy.
Oh, for the duel, let's bring him out against Michigan. Against the college.
So I would say they have the advantage at 33. Michigan does.
Yeah.
Penn State wins at 41 with Bartlett.
I agree.
Yeah, regardless of if it's Cannon or Ragusin, I don't think
49 with Gomez. This gets
I'm
interesting.
I'm going to say Van Ness. I mean, look at how well one performed in NCAAs, and look how one didn't.
Yeah, but this would be a dual meet, so Gomez would kick the crap out of him.
Potentially. I mean, Gomez shows up in duels, but if Van Ness has made these strides and continued after the NCAAs like he did, I mean, this is a guy that spent his entire offseason not doing freestyle, but doing folk style. I want to give the edge just on how he did it at Nationals, even though he has the head-to-head loss. I want to give it to Van Ness.
I wouldn't.
But so Gomez.
I wouldn't. I'd still go with Gomez, but I understand why you'd go with Van Ness. It logically makes sense.
Yeah.
Gomez is currently in the transfer portal. Does that mean if he enrolls into Michigan tomorrow, is he eligible for the start of the season, or does he have to wait until after January?
I don't know how they're doing the transfer rules now. Honestly, so much of it seems interesting.
Because that's also interconference he would be. So, is he – because I know that's a rule too. Like, if you transfer within conference, you're, like, delayed a certain amount of time.
Right. Yeah, I don't know the idiosyncrasies of that rule.
Part of it requires –
honestly, I think Gomez doesn't need to wrestle a full season. He'd probably be better off just wrestling the second half.
Yep.
And then being healthy for NCAAs.
100%.
Yeah, definitely. Less matches for him, especially because he is injury prone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, that makes
I think that's probably going to be their plan, is just keep him on like a bit of a pitch count, especially as he transitions kind of from freestyle back to folk style, then to go back to freestyle because it's an Olympic year. So I think the Gomez situation is going to be very interesting as far as what they're going to do in there. But at 57, I have Haynes over Luan.
So it's interesting because Haynes beat him in overtime last year, and we all know Will Luan loves to keep matches close.
Yeah, he's hard to score on, but he's also not great at scoring in those like higher level matches. But then again, he does wear on guys too. So,
but with a 3-point takedown, I wonder how we'll see this play out now.
Well, that's true because if Luan gets or gives up one takedown,
it'll be tough.
He's going to have to get one, otherwise it doesn't matter.
Exactly. It'll be tough to take it to overtime because it can't be a 2-2 match.
Right, yeah, like you gave up the takedown.
So, yeah, Haynes probably has the edge there. 65, we'll see Cam Amin versus probably Facundo, maybe Mitch Messenbrink. We don't really know yet. And
I don't even think
Facundo
Penn State knows
beat
we're doing it.
Penn State's still it's a toss-up.
I mean, so Mitchell Messenbrink has done interviews where they're like, "Oh, what's the plan?" He's like, "I actually have no idea."
He's like, we'll know the plan when we enact the plan.
He's like, I just come in and wrestle, and whatever they tell me to do is what we're gonna do, I guess. But to Jack's point, like he was saying, Alex Facundo beat Mr. Amin last year in the duel. I mean, shit the bed at nationals, but
yeah.
Well, even Big Tens, he didn't really show up.
Yeah, he had a really good middle season.
Yeah, he had a real good week.
A great week.
So we were talking about Griffith versus Starachi in the group chat, and the two guys on the top seem to think it's going to be a lot closer than the guy on the bottom here.
So there's a commenter out there, Bilbo Baggins 7095. And he said something about Mike not too long ago that I also agreed with in this when Mike made his prediction, which is
that I think Griffith will be the one to knock off Starachi. I mean, maybe it'll take him a few goes like it did with Evan Wick, but I think Griffith. I think he's got the capability to do it. If anyone does, Shane Griffith will beat Carter Starachi.
And I said there's no way. Starachi is the number 1 in the pound for pound rankings. Griffith is number 4 in just the 174 rankings alone. He's not even in the top 20 in pound for pound. I have to agree with Mr. Bilbo Baggins.
Starachi's the pound for pound because he's a 3-time champ. But outside of that, the 3 times he's won it, like the weight classes he had aren't that deep. It's not like he's Keegan O'Toole, who like last year he won a bracket with 3 returning national champs and a national runner-up in it. Like
he beat Mekai Lewis.
Okay, he beat the returning national champion.
Wait, Mike, let me ask you this. Okay, who was there a 3-time national champ last year who was a done deal, 100% gonna win, and then that guy got pinned by someone? I don't know.
Didn't he look like
basically a nobody before this season? Did anyone care or know who Matt Ray was?
Saying, I don't know anything about what happens in Iowa. All I know is Penn State guys show up.
I don't know. I mean, Marinelli beat Vincenzo Joseph several times.
Never in the NCAAs, though.
Well, they never met in the NCAAs.
Because one guy didn't make it there.
I think, anything's possible at the NCAA tournament.
I think Griffith is gonna wick Starachi.
Right. If it's not Griffith that does it, we sure as hell know it's going to be Donnell Washington.
Yeah, Donnell's going to get it.
Or Donnell Washington. That's like, I don't even know what I did, man. But
he beat him.
Starachi hates me.
He beat Starachi. That's what he did.
I don't know. Let us know in the comments what you think is going to happen if Griffith and Starachi meet up, at any point in the year.
They will. And the dual meet in Big Tens.
The duel at a minimum, Big Tens, NCAAs. That's 3 matchups.
I see some ducking.
From who? From Starachi?
I'm not saying he wouldn't, but
I'm not saying he wouldn't, because I don't see Griffith ducking anybody. He doesn't care. Like he wrestled Caliendo a bunch of times last year too,
and he lost a lot of times.
Yeah, he lost 2 out of 3.
I think everyone talks about Penn State's duel streak and how good they are in duels, but I really don't think the coaches really care about the duels.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, look how many matches Aaron Brooks missed just last season alone in duels because they're like, yeah, who cares?
Yeah, but they're that good though that Eric Brooks doesn't need to wrestle and they'll still win.
That's true.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. I think
if
the
it
same
was
thing
coming
happened-
down to the 197-pound match, we need a win. Let's bench Brooks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Could happen with Carter is if it's kind of the duel's kind of a way, they're not gonna be like, oh, go wrestle Griffith. They'd be like, hey, we have all these incredible red shirt, stud guys that we have.
Oh yeah, they got like a Kassar on the bench.
Yeah, why not use a guy, see how he matches up against someone that's really talented as an All-American? Starachi's not going to take the fifth year of eligibility like you talked about. Why not just see how they match up, see what how our investment looks? But what do I know?
He's gonna lose. So that's all it's gonna happen.
Well,
I got Truax over Rogers as well, by the way.
Yeah, I got that.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, even if Rogers has a phenomenal season, I don't see him beating Truex.
And then at 97, I mean, Brooks will win that.
Yatuma
doesn't. Yeah, no. And then at heavyweight, I mean, Kirk will beat Davison. I'm sure.
I mean, it'll be a close match, but I don't think Davison. I mean, unless Mason Paris is spilling some secrets and transferring some skill to Davison. I doubt he's gonna have overcome Kirk. So
yeah, I say Penn State's favored in 7 out of 10 matches.
No, I say 6 out of 10.
Which count?
It's because you pick Van Ness over Gomez.
Yeah, I think
I have it the opposite, which is. But actually, I mean, the way I'm calling it, it is 5-5 because I'm picking Griffith over Starochi and Gomez over Van Ness, so that's 5-5. So but realistically, 6 is 6 for Penn State and 4 for Michigan on paper.
If you want to get a little funny, you could say that Levi Haynes' match could be a coin flip because it was overtime last year.
You guys are bananas that Penn State is not the favorite in this match.
No, they are the favorite.
No, they are.
I'm not saying that they're not the favorite, but I'm saying Michigan can win.
I don't think so.
Calm down, Bilbo. All right.
All right. So how about we look at how Iowa favors now?
Yeah. So Iowa. So we kind of went through. We'll kind of do them all side by side, I guess. So Iowa 25. Drake Ayala.
Yeah. Who are we putting them against right now?
I mean, we can do both of them. I mean, I'd say Michigan with DiAugustino is probably number 1. Ayala is probably number 2, and then Robbie Howard number 3. That's how I would do it.
Yeah,
that's fair. I think Howard can really step up at the end of the season, but he hasn't shown anything yet that can demonstrate that.
Yeah, maybe as the season goes, we'll be changing our tune. But for right now, Howard's definitely low man on the totem pole here.
And then 33, you'll have Chris Cannon or Dylan Ragusin. You'll have Brody Teske for Iowa.
Yeah, Brody Teske, and then
Penn State, if Nagao is
Kurt
out.
McHenry?
Kurt McHenry. I mean,
yeah, Henry or Davis. I mean, I almost want to lean toward Braden Davis just because Kurt McHenry, it was a small 125. I can't imagine him going up to 133 and being more successful.
That's true. That's kind of like Bo Bartlett going up to 57.
Yeah.
So Michigan's got the edge there. Penn State's actually probably number 3 in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, again, it depends how things go at 133. Brody Teske was close to RBY in the duel last year until he turned it on at the end and pinned him.
Yeah, but overall,
score-wise, it was close.
I mean, overall, Teske had a very disappointing season. So
yeah, I mean, I think that he's had a hard run at the collegiate level, but I would say 41. You guys are going to go for Real Woods. I'm going to go with Bo Bartlett.
What do you mean? You were just saying that you have to go off of last year's NCAA performance with Van Ness and
I'm going off the U.S. Open.
Are you going off of freestyle?
But Real Woods wasn't in the U.S. Open.
Because he was afraid of Bo Bartlett.
I don't think that's true at all.
Says the guy who favors the guys who are focusing on folk style.
It's okay. I can have it both ways. It's whatever I want.
Yeah, the Penn State bias is real.
Yeah.
I would say Real Woods is obviously the favorite here, though.
Yeah.
I think it's tough to say because I feel like Bartlett has made strides, but he's still lacks in his neutral game, which, as we see now, is even more important with a 3-point takedown. Real Woods is a really solid neutral wrestler. He's tough to score on. He's tough on top, gets away on bottom. Their match is going to be probably decided on their feet. And if Bo Bartlett doesn't make strides like he needs to, he's not going to win that match. 6-point takedown, 7, it could be a 10-point takedown. But seeing how he wrestled against Nick Lee, I said, okay, wow, maybe he's getting better in his neutral game. But freestyle versus folk style, a guy that you wrestle with every single day, that you know their style and how, what their weaknesses. So it'll be interesting. I'm going to go with Woods, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Bartlett. I think that he's making good steps, but he's maybe not there yet.
Right. Yeah,
Cannon Ragusan is
Michigan's on the bottom
that's
there.
3, yeah.
And then so 49. Voinovich for Iowa, Gomez probably for Michigan, and Van Ness. I mean, we kind of just talked about it between Gomez and Van Ness.
I'd say
going to
Voinovich is third in this.
Yeah,
either one will beat Voinovich for sure.
Yeah.
And then 57.
Franek makes it interesting.
This match is not getting enough talk. That when they have the duel, it'll be the number 1 versus the number 2 in the rankings at 157. Like Franek is number 2 right now at 157.
Yeah.
Iowa. Levi Haynes is number 1 at 157. And I feel like no one's being like, oh, this could be a great battle of the duels. Everyone's just like, how's AJ Ferrari going to look with Aaron Brooks?
Well, yeah, but that's a good point, because Franek and Haynes never even wrestled. Last season, they didn't match up. So this could be fireworks here. I mean, Franek, he took 4th, but I mean,
but this could be the this could be the NCAA finals potentially.
Yeah, this could be a solid matchup. And I mean, Will Luan is capable of winning either match. I mean, I don't say favored to win either match, but he's capable.
For sure.
Well, think of it this way. Will Luan has beaten Ja'Cory Teamer, and Ja'Cory Teamer has beaten Jared Franek. So, by the associative property,
pretty much. It's perfect.
Yes. Well, and isn't Ja'Cory Teamer going to be back this year?
Yes. He should be back from injury this year, yeah.
So, makes things very interesting.
So 65 will throw in Mikey Caliendo for Iowa?
Caliendo.
Yeah, so Caliendo, man, he had a great year last year at North Dakota State.
He's gonna beat Facundo.
Maybe. I don't want to rule
him out.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like Alex Facundo, I'm still kind of shocked at how his season went last year. This was a guy that was a 3-time invite to Who's Number 1. He was the bluest of the blue chips, multiple-time state champion, multiple-time world, placer, has Super 32 titles, NCAA.
He might have been at his best then.
Possibly, but, it's tough to pick a guy that has had such incredible credentials. What it kind of reminds me of, actually, is Mark Hall, who, had an amazing high school career and then came into college and had 1 national title, maybe would have won a second in the COVID year.
He was a 3-time finalist.
3-time finalist, and even his 1
year. He was a 0-time finalist.
Give it time. He's got 5, I can't keep track of eligibility anymore, but he might have 4 more years. Who knows?
I feel like Van Ness had the NCAA tournament that everyone was expecting Facundo to have.
Oh. Yes, that's fair.
Yeah,
especially after he beat Amin and he, beat some tough guys in the duels.
Right. But that's the thing. I don't know if that Caliendo would beat Amin. I never would have thought Facundo would beat Amin.
I would be willing to put it as Amin, Facundo, Caliendo.
They're all so close, though.
I don't think I'd put Caliendo on the bottom.
You don't think so?
I'd definitely put Facundo on the bottom.
I mean, based on last year's performance.
Based on last year's performance, yeah. I mean, this is assuming that Messenbrink doesn't go at 65, too.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
just to clarify, you had said that Bilbo had made a comment with Griffith beating Storace. I believe Bilbo did it in reference to Mike thinking that Nelson Brands was going to beat Storace. Yes.
Yeah, in our preview video,
So,
yes. I said in the duel, Nelson Brands is going to, instead of losing 2-1, he's going to reverse it and win 2-1.
Yeah.
And he lets you have it.
Yeah, and we'll keep it family friendly because this is a family friendly channel. But
Yeah.
But if you want to go back to the video to check the comments, you're welcome to.
Well, let's talk about Nelson Brands. Let's say he's back.
So I guess if it goes the way I call it, Storace's the bottom of these three.
Insane, absolute insanity. I can't even fathom it.
Storace's number 3 going into the season.
Griffith 1, Brands 2, Storace 3. All right, even I can tell that that's a little.
I got Brands as 3. I don't think he's beating Griffith.
Yeah,
I don't think he's beating.
I mean, that's
that's
probably
fair.
most fair.
I mean, I still want to see Gabe Arnold wrestle Storace because he called him out.
Yeah,
but
maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year. Even if Storace wrestles next year.
Take that 50-year Carter Storace. 80,
We'll see.
Well, we did kind of manifest Gomez. I mean, our video came out, and the next day, Gomez is returning. And then the next day, Gomez is in the transfer portal.
Wait till
tomorrow.
Then
tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah. Gomez is at Michigan. All right, so 84.
Ferrari.
84 for Iowa, Abe Assad. Let's say he's back because he was part of that scandal, right?
Yeah, his name was brought up.
Yeah. So he'll probably be the starter. I mean, he hasn't really done much. 84 has really thinned out though. I'm interested to see what Rogers does at Michigan. Maybe he'll beat Assad, but I think Truex is the top dog here.
I think Truex
perennial fourth
guy for sure.
Yeah. And then
no one takes fourth.
So now this is probably where people want to hear us talk about it. Ferrari at 97 or heavyweight. If Cassioppi's back and Ferrari's going to Iowa, he has to go 97, right?
Right. Yeah.
But can he do that?
I mean, he did post something saying a few months ago that he was weighing like 230, 235 or something like that. Which, if that's true, that's going to be a pretty severe cut there, 40 pounds. But
especially because he was so low body fat in those pictures that he was putting up as well.
Yeah. So, but maybe he was kind of fluffing up how much he was weighing, and he was only weighing like 215. And then, in which case, it wouldn't be, still 20 pounds, but it's a lot less than 40.
Yeah, but how much does he deadlift?
Almost as much as me.
Yes.
So, do you guys think if Ferrari wrestles Aaron Brooks, how's that going to go?
I think this is the biggest nothing burger.
This is bigger than what?
I think this is a huge nothing burger.
Oh, nothing burger.
Aaron Brooks is so much better than Ferrari. It hurts me to have this conversation. AJ Ferrari is a one-time national champion, never wrestled at a U.S. Open. Actually, no, that's wrong, because the U.S. Open he wrestled at, he didn't place.
Oh, yeah, the one he went to, he didn't place.
We're talking about Aaron Brooks, who just beat bronze medalist Zahid Valencia, a weight class above him.
Yeah. You're
telling me a guy that took bronze at the World in a weight class that he didn't even he went up to.
Okay, but how much can Aaron Brooks deadlift?
I would say whatever Ferrari can do +1.
Whoa.
Aaron Brooks, look, I've had this conversation with my high school guys. Coming from a powerlifting background, I was like, I tell them, we are wrestlers. We lift to support our wrestling. We don't wrestle to support our lifting. I bench more than Kyle Snyder. I squat more than Kyle Snyder. I deadlift more than Kyle Snyder. If I was to wrestle Kyle Snyder right now, I don't think I'd beat him. Pretty confident about that one. I can outlift Dake. Gable, he's not a world team member, but it doesn't matter. I could.
How much you weigh?
Out deadlift Ferrari. What's up?
How much you weigh?
Right now, 170. I've gained a lot of weight since I stopped wrestling.
Okay.
But the point is that just because I can bench press more than Kyle Dake doesn't mean I'm a better wrestler than Kyle Dake.
Yeah.
And AJ Ferrari is not a better wrestler than Aaron Brooks.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, I guess we'll find out on the mat.
I mean,
I'm
I'm just
thinking-
excited for the hype.
I'm just saying that Yatuma is the top. Aaron Brooks, AJ Ferrari.
Yatuma's the top.
And Starocci's always
Yeah,
going to be
not
number
giving enough
4.
credit to Yatuma was what I was trying to say earlier.
Ah,
All right. Well, I mean, it's interesting. It definitely
It is.
with Ferrari in, as much as like it's hard to root for the guy,
It
it makes the team race very
the
interesting.
very
Ferrari
strange.
hype is real, but so many questions. Can he make 97? If he can't, can he beat Cassiope? If Cassiope's out, can he beat Ben Keeter?
Well, Keita's just going to redshirt.
Possibly.
Yeah, well, I mean, he can't be. They're gonna start Cass if Cass is an option. So.
But if Cassiope's out and there's a wrestle off between Ben and AJ, what happens?
Ferrari doesn't seem like the guy that redshirts.
Yeah,
Well, that's my point. Is if he loses, where does he go? What happens next? That's almost the bigger story. Is AJ hasn't wrestled legit in years.
you know what happens next is we get the announcement that AJ's actually going to Michigan.
Transferring. Yeah.
He's going to Michigan.
I could
He
beat Yatuma.
wants the team
It's his
title.
He goes, man, I couldn't beat Cass, but he goes, I think I could beat Davison or Yatuma.
I can beat Yatuma at 97, so let's do this.
I just think that he's going to have the same problem that other bigger 97s have, is that they can't make the cut. I mean, these.
Oh, that's like the Iowa State guy.
Younger Bastida.
Yeah, younger.
Yes. Yep. Younger. And same thing as Wisconsin, Braxton Amos, that has a hard time. These really, really talented wrestlers. I mean, Braxton Amos was a world champion. Can't at 97 kilos. He can't make the cut down to 197.
Yeah.
I think AJ's going to have the same problem. He's going to go up and he's going to say, man, I'm super athletic, but a lot of these heavyweights are now. I almost think the bigger matchup would be Kirk versus Ferrari, but Kirk is just a freak athlete as well.
Yeah. So
Anyway, Ferrari brings the hype. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he would. It makes it fun.
So yeah, just to round it out here. So I mean, we'll probably put Brooks 1, Ferrari 2, Yatuma 3, and then heavyweight Cassiope. Let's say he's back. If not, maybe Ferrari. If not, maybe Cuter. Iowa's still looking pretty good. But Michigan with Davison and Kirk's got to be number 1 regardless.
Yeah.
Cassiope I don't think he.
I don't know if he'll beat him again.
He's never placed lower than Davison.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's lost to Davison either. So like I'd say Cass is a firm 2.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting. What do you guys think? Drop a comment down below. Lots of major updates.
A lot of updates.
And we're not even at the start of the season. We still got like 4 weeks before the start of the NCAA season. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more drama to come. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop us a comment down below all about Ferrari, Gomez, Michigan, Iowa, Penn State, all this wrestling nonsense.
Who's coming out on top?
Yeah, who you got? Who you got? All right, this is Cactus Wrestling. Thanks for watching.